Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. Today is Thursday, September 12th, and today we are continuing our study of Ezekiel chapter 12. We are up to verse 13, and we've already seen that Ezekiel has, been directed to do this. It's basically like a sermon, but they call it a sermon in some of the study Bibles, in fact. But he's actually acting out the exile. He has dug into the wall, to a hole in the wall. He has pulled out his baggage. He has put it on his shoulder. And it's basically a way of demonstrating that because you are a rebellious house, because Israel, or Jerusalem and Judah are a rebellious house, you've already had a bunch of people exiled, and there's more exile coming. We've also seen that King Zedekiah was referred to as a prince. And the reason he was referred to as a prince was to point out the fact that he has basically been demoted, that his power has been stripped to some extent because he led Jerusalem away from God and led them into that rebellion and that idolatry that has caused the exile that's already happened and the one that is about to come. Now we're up to verse 13, and it says, "And I will spread my net over him, and he shall be taken in my snare. And I will bring him to Babylon, the land of the Chaldeans, yet he will not see it, and he shall die there." That's referring to King Zedekiah. Now we saw in the study notes yesterday, in the study ESV Study Bible, that in 2 Kings 25:7 and Jeremiah 39:6-7, that's where it talks about the fact that King Zedekiah was blinded by the captors. So he's lost his physical sight, and now we find out that he is going to die in Babylon. Verse 14, "And I will scatter toward every wind all who are around him, his helpers and all his troops, and I will unsheathe the sword after them." So basically what he's saying is all those people that King Zedekiah has around him, and that would be a good number of people, trusted advisors and things like that, God's going to spread them out, and he's going to have an unsheathed sword, a sword ready for battle, basically going after them to encourage and to cause that spreading out to happen. "And they shall know that I am the Lord when I disperse them among the nations and scatter them among the countries." So basically what he's saying here is once they've been scattered, they're going to realize this was God's doing and we had this coming. "And they shall know that I am the Lord when I disperse them among the nations and scatter them among the countries." Sorry, I just read that. Verse 16, "But I will let a few of them escape from my sword, from famine and pestilence, that they may declare all their abominations among the nations where they go, and may know that I am the Lord." So he's basically saying they will be able to proclaim, this is what we did, and this is what God did as a result. And yes, we are guilty. They're going to be able to proclaim that, these few people that are spared. Verse 17, "And the word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, eat your bread with quaking and drink water with trembling and with anxiety." So I have a Diet Coke here because I like my Diet Coke in the morning. He's being told to basically eat and drink with trembling, and I'm making that happen. Well, why is he being told to do that? He's, since eating and drinking is the most, and this is from the Cultural Study Bible, because eating and drinking is of the most basic activities of daily life, the mood at the table often reflects current conditions. Think about when a family has an argument about the politics that's going on. They're talking about current events. At the Passovers, the Israelites were to eat their meal in haste, to eat it very quickly like they're in a rush, as a reflection of their readiness to leave. Now, we just had this whole baggage analogy that Ezekiel acted out, getting ready to leave. Here, the anxiety betrays the threat that they are living under. So they are under this huge, tremendous pressure, and Ezekiel's to eat and drink with that trembling to kind of indicate that we ought to be afraid of this. Yes, we are in a perilous position. Verse 19, and say to the people of the land, thus says the Lord God concerning the inhabitants of Jerusalem in the land of Israel. They shall eat their bread with anxiety and drink water in dismay. In this way, her land will be stripped of all it contains on account of the violence of all who dwell in it. And the inhabited cities shall be laid waste, and the land shall become a desolation. And you shall know that I am the Lord. Often in the Bible, God uses a very difficult calamity of some kind to display his power and the fact that he's not going to put up with the rebelliousness. He's going to draw the line in the sand and say, this is as far as you're going to go, and then I will put a stop to it. Think about the ark. God put a stop to the rebelliousness, and he kept the people that were faithful to him safe. God does this over and over and over again. And when we look at end times prophecy, he's going to do it again. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.